Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barbin. With me is Jeff Dover, and let's talk football.
We're a couple of average football fans that watch college and the NFL. We hope to earn your like and subscribe today. This is our review of the Broncos-Patriots game. What are your initial thoughts?
The story of this game is Drake Maye's legs.
Yeah, that was really the difference in that, why they ended up winning. That, and I had the blizzard blew away almost what could have been a good game, I feel like, at this one. So, because I've never seen a game change weather-wise like it did in the blue skies and sunny in the first quarter, and then just an absolute blizzard at the end.
Yeah, and that had so that's a really good point. And did you see, remember the broadcast showed like what each quarter looked like? Even halfway through the third, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
And then holy smokes, did it ever get bad fast.
And it's amazing how much accumulation there was, because you can't see any of the lines. You could tell people weren't moving as well as they were. Like, no one could kick a field goal in this.
And Romo kept saying, I promise you it's 100 times worse than what it looks like on TV. And that's true. Like, the cameras didn't ever really capture how bad it is.
No. And it looked bad, which is saying something. Yes.
Right.
Like
exactly.
Sideways blowing snow. Like
couldn't kick a field goal to save their lives.
No. Which is really going to hamper a couple of teams that have, struggle on offense.
There was no offense here. Okay, so I've got a couple of stats here I want to look at. So Drake Maye, he was the leading rusher in the game. And when he took off, that literally changed everything. And so, I mean, I'm pretty sure in a game with that type of weather conditions, the Broncos don't want to be attempting 31 passes.
No, that's a good point. So I have Drake Maye down for 65 yards rushing, and Stevenson at 71. So it's second leading rush. But that's really the difference, was the QB being able to run for the Patriots, because both teams struggled running the ball, both teams struggled passing the ball. But the reason why New England had 141 rushing yards to 79 for Denver was because of the rushing by Drake Maye. And that was absolutely, like, on a day where passes were hard to complete, balls were hard to catch, both defenses were good in not allowing the other team to run the ball. The difference was his 65 yards rushing was really what put them in a position to win this game.
And I'm sure that long touchdown that Stidham hit early in the game gave the Broncos fans hope. Obviously, the crowd came alive after that, thinking, "Oh, okay, maybe he's going to settle in." He actually looked okay there for a bit there. He was playing well. He was hitting the plays and hitting the passes that were called. He looked, after that long one, he looked like he was settled in and he was going to be fine. And then ultimately he made the two mistakes that cost him the game.
Yeah. And that was so watching that, like, as a fan, so all week I've heard Peyton say, this guy's really good. This guy's really good. You don't understand. He hasn't played for 2 years. Like, he's really good. It was really close to who would be QB1 at the beginning of the season, and he's like, people better watch out, and I didn't believe too much of it, like, because I feel like if you're that good, that gets you on the field some way, but whatever. But then that opening drive, which is because it was an opening drive touchdown, wasn't it? Was
the second or third play of the game? Whatever, it was fast.
It was, and so it was, like, and I'm like, oh man, no, it was a 3-and-out was the beginning, and then New England 3-and-out, and then it was a touchdown the next drive. So but like, that was, it was an incompletion, 52-yard pass, 1-yard run, 6-yard touchdown pass. And I'm like, oh man, like, if he was right at all, like, if saying that this guy was that good, then we're going to have a game, and then did basically nothing after that, because if that was, 60 yards passing on that drive, and you ended up with 130, so that would have been like 70 yards passing the rest of the game on 14 completions, or like, it was not much. So yeah.
So the total yards here in the first half, the Patriots have 67 yards in the first half. The Broncos have 149, but they don't, it's not like they got ahead in the game. And okay, we're going to talk about the field goal.
I know you
going for the field goal. This is just twice this weekend, but this is killing me. Then in the second half, the Patriots go for 139 yards and the Broncos 32. So they get completely shut down in the second half, which you kind of would expect with that weather, but the Patriots go for 139. So they can run the ball. They can move the ball effectively enough in the second half to battle, I guess, the elements. But the key thing here, I think the whole game revolved around the third quarter when the Patriots held the ball for 13 minutes.
Yeah.
And The Broncos had it for like 13 minutes, 10 seconds. Broncos had it for 140, I think. And in that third quarter, the Patriots had 115 yards. The Broncos had 6.
Yeah. No, and you can, with two offenses were struggling, the defenses were really good. But when your defense has to be out there that long in the second half of a game, like it's just you're asking too much, and both defenses did their job. It's just you literally they didn't take advantage of getting the points when they could. And how a field goal in a game like this, a field goal is critical. We've talked about this before. Sure, I've seen some games which are like 45-49, and if you settle for a field goal, that's bad because you're going to be down 2 scores as soon as the other team scores another touchdown. But there's in this game where points are going to be critical, and you want just a bit of momentum too for your guy that hasn't played QB for 2 years. I thought of you immediately as soon as I saw that getting fourth and 1, and then coming away with nothing at that point.
I mean, we don't have a dog in this fight. We're just going to comment on both teams equally here. So, but I'll never understand. Like, someone needs to make it make sense to me that not taking the points there is the right move in a game where points are going to be at a premium. They have to know the weather's going to change. There's no way that they're surprised. I'm sure they know the weather's going to be changing throughout this game, and this is going to be some of the only weather that they can get points in, like earlier in the game, and then they just leave the points on the. I've yet to see anyone actually make sense to me to leave the points leave the points there, because New England wasn't doing anything, especially at that point of the game.
Yes,
the Broncos were outgaining New England. New England couldn't move the ball. The Broncos and Peyton had every reason to believe that's just going to continue happening. Like, the Broncos were going nowhere, or the Patriots are going nowhere. So in that moment, every 3 points matters.
Yeah.
And then, I'll never understand it.
No, and people always say, like, one of the key main arguments, like, because if you're on like within the 10, and you go 4th and 4th down and you don't get it, the other team gets it like on their own 5 or whatever, and so they've got 95 yards to go, and that is a unlikely distance to go to get like a touchdown, especially when your defense is playing that well, which I can understand. But at the end of the day, last I checked, the more points than the other team wins the game, and so opportunities to not take points off the board is really what you're doing there. at a total of 17 points in this game, which is crazy.
Yep. So Drake Maye's running, his scrambling, his choice to scramble, and like Romo said, he's really good at scrambling up the middle.
Yes.
So he's got an instinct. So to me, this is the modern quarterback. Both of these, both of these guys. So Bo Nix has the exact same characteristics, but he wasn't in this game. But Drake Maye is super effective, recognizing there's nothing there, take off, and he knows when he's got space. Now, he didn't do it like all game long, but when he did, he hit I think a 28-yarder or something like that, like one of the big ones, and then he seals the game on the quarterback keeper. And I was saying to myself, like, man, one of these plays has to be a keeper for me, like a called keeper, not a scramble because you have to scramble. And when he pulled it out, which sealed the game, I'm like, oh, okay, he was waiting he's going to show it to them once, and it better be the one that finishes the game off, and it was. Yeah. So his ability to run was. This is another frustrating thing, and then I'll throw it over to you. Is that what's his name? Stidham ran 4 times. Let him go too. Look at the guy across the field. The guy across the field is a potential MVP quarterback candidate. Your guy is a backup. Run him. Just let him. Stidham's athletic. He's plenty athletic enough.
He looks like he can. Yeah.
And read the room, Peyton. You're getting nowhere with your offense. The guy, you throw it 10 more times than they do. Yeah, maybe it's because you're trying to get back into the game. Not in that weather. And you never use your quarterback's legs. I just don't understand. Like, to me, Peyton, for as good of a coach as is, to me, he just fumbled it all the way through this one, not recognizing what to do with this guy. You can't ask him to outpass Drake Maye in that weather. What are you doing?
Yeah, the note I had about Maye was that I was pretty underwhelmed. Like I was hoping the 4,000-yard passing May would show up. Now, again, Denver's defense is really good and the weather was really bad. So like, I get that. But it's just as well he did run for those 65 yards because that really was the difference in the game, like we said. But when the game ended, I was sort of like, man, I hope the 4,000 passing yards May shows up for the next game, because if this offense looks anything like this against Seattle, they're going to have a big problem. So
it could.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that this was more of an anomaly than anything else.
Well, okay. So the Patriots defense is utterly outstanding. They said it's only given up 26 points in the playoffs so far.
Yeah.
Now the Broncos defense is absolutely outstanding too. And the Patriots offensive line was having a hell of a time dealing with them. So they've managed to go through three of the best defenses, obviously, in a row. What did they do? They beat the Chargers, they beat the Texans, and now they beat the Broncos. So now this is patchwork type stuff. But when you're up against defenses that good, and defensive lines that good, and like Romo was saying, his one-on-one shots were always too Surtain. They were loading up players on the other side of the field. There was nothing there. There just wasn't anything there. Their big pass play was a flea flicker, and kudos to Ramondre Stevenson. Once he flipped the ball back, he turned around and he had a linebacker right in his face, and he made that. It was like a last-minute bang bang. Mm-hmm. That was a 10 out of 10 difficulty flea flicker for him, and he totally pulled it off. And I can't believe they pulled that play out and it worked.
Yeah, he's a great blocker. Like Stevenson, like he's not there's some running backs that are big and like run like with a load, but they're okay blockers, but he's a really good blocker too. So
yeah, that was a stellar play by him. So yeah, he was I don't want to say unsung, because he obviously was the leading rusher, and that really mattered. Getting yards obviously on the ground in this game really mattered. But that play alone, that was just a huge play to keep the drive alive, keep the ball away from them. So all throughout that third quarter, they just kept playing keep away with them. And that was just an example of one offense had just slightly more in the tank as the game was going on than the other. And again, I just keep coming back to this idea that Peyton left points on the board and never used his quarterback's legs, which is what was happening to you on the other side of the field. Like at one point, are you going to recognize none of the plays are going to work anymore, especially the fourth quarter? That wasn't even football anymore. That was just guys who running around in the snow who can't, they can't tackle. You can't cut. Well, they could tackle, but the offense can't make a cut. They can't really run a proper route. There's like not much you can do at that point. No one could kick a field goal. So the most effective play you could possibly have is just quarterback run.
Yeah.
Like don't even do the handoff.
No, I know. And you're right about Steve, especially in that weather and everything. Like, but no, you're right about Stevenson being a bit of unsung, because he was, like you said, in the third quarter, those drives, like he had a lot of carries, like, and some were short, some weren't, like they were able to get first downs and stuff. So that was a big part of that huge, like the time differential, like you said, for the third quarter. And he was a big part of that. Now that was a big part of this game, because as bad as the offenses were, they really can't score if you only give them a couple of possessions, so this would have been a game where they would have needed multiple possessions to get something. And if the offense isn't working and they only had it twice, like it's really good for you. So,
and in the third quarter there, the Patriots had it with the wind at their back, and it was important for them to get the one field goal. So they got one field goal and missed one right in that quarter.
Yeah.
But that was super important for them to capitalize while they had the wind at their back, and the weather hadn't quite turned to complete, total, utter blizzard quite yet.
Yeah.
And that was the key, right? That was the 3 points that won them the game that Peyton left on the board when the weather was even better. And then when they finally finished the game with the wind at their back, talking about the Broncos, the weather was so bad it didn't matter anymore. Like it wasn't really going to help them. And I think they had a field goal blocked anyways, or partially blocked, right?
That was the field goal kicking was for a combined 1 for 5 in this game, which is pretty rough. Like, at this year, at this age with the NFL, where like people can kick like 60 yarders and 50 yards is supposed to be considered automatic. Like, yeah, that was pretty rough.
Not in that weather.
Oh my gosh.
So, I don't know if we can take much away from this game. Okay. So for the Broncos, your backup QB, after showing that nice flash with the touchdown, he blew it. He threw the pick at the end of the game that killed any chance of coming back. Now, I mean, that's a super low percentage of anything happening with the weather as bad as it was. But man, that was an awful effort. That was just not much. That was, I mean, it was so easy for Gonzalez to pick that one off.
Yeah, it was an interception, and he had a fumble loss too, right?
Well, so the fumble loss was that terrible retreat on. He was retreating and retreating and retreating. Then he pump fakes. I don't know what, but he holds the ball. Then he does like a sort of a two-handed shot put thing.
Yeah,
to try to avoid a sack. But that was never gonna. That has to get across the line of scrimmage, which was 15 yards away. Like, what does this guy think he's doing? And then it turns out to be a backwards pass, which should have been a fumble pickup 6.
Yes.
And then the refs blew it dead, which would have been a travesty
except they scored right away.
If they didn't score right away.
Yeah.
Well, but because the refs are never, don't blow that one dead.
No,
you let it happen and then come back and decide on replay.
No, and that's so like that fumble, that was for a guy that hasn't played in 2 years, like that's exactly the kind of turnover you sort of expect and that you can't make, like that exactly. Going into the game, that's all the coaches and everyone would have just been telling you, like, just you play within yourself, like don't try to do too much, and that was a great example of like, you can't do that. Like, cause that was in a game where your defense is playing so well. The only way that you're going to get into trouble is a quick turnover, a short field or something like that. And so that was an absolute guy. I felt really bad, like, because that was, that's a rough go of it. You sort of expect it from someone. You can't recreate live speed that well, like in practice and a playoff game and stuff. And anyway, that was really hard for him.
It's just the coolness under pressure. He didn't.
Yeah.
They were in that game. There was nothing about that game where the Patriots were. I mean, everything was about the same.
Yeah.
And the major difference was he cost them 2 turnovers.
And 2 turnovers and Drake Maye running were really the like you said, that led them to a 10-7 win. So it wasn't like a blowout or anything.
But think about what you're asking him to do. Okay, just don't turn the ball over.
No.
So just don't pull the trigger on a pass if it's not obviously there. It's not like the Patriots are going up and down the field. You just didn't need a lot of points.
I know.
And then just eat it. Take the sack is always okay to take, especially if they were even paying attention at all to the Patriots Texans game. The ball was just all over the place. I mean, they had to be confident, they being the Broncos, that we might be able to turn Maye over. That's the one knock on Maye, is he drops the ball. He fumbles the ball a little bit more than you would hope for a MVP candidate. Held onto the ball this game, played super conservative. He only completed 10 passes.
Yeah.
And then all of his effectiveness, besides that flea flicker, was mostly just with his legs and his ability to not turn the ball over.
Yep.
Which a backup can do that. Just don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And run around. Run. Like it. I don't know. To me, it was just, you can't run your standard offense in this weather or with your backup, and why not run the guy? I don't know. Maybe I'm making it sound simpler than it should be.
Listen, because it's really staring you in the face, right? Drake Maye went 10 for 21 for 86 yards and had 10 rushes for 65 yards. Like, Stidham could have done that. That's what I'm trying to say. That Stidham has that in the bag. So that's the part that's frustrating, is like, because I see a path for Denver winning this. So that's the hard part, is that as a fan, like so anyway.
I mean, that has to be a gross feeling after he throws that touchdown. He had the big pass in the game. Stidham did, not Maye, right? I mean, obviously they had the flea flicker, but not the best quote unquote pass of the day was clearly by Stidham.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got something to him there. And then I just I just don't understand how running him wasn't part of the game plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
I mean, I get, you might have, if this was a regular season and your starter goes down, like, are you going to run your backup very much? No, because you don't want to get them injured, and then be in the third string. So I get that part, but this is the game this is the AFC Championship. This is what gets you to the Super Bowl or not. And you have 2 weeks in case someone gets banged up. So so I'm with you. I'm surprised that wasn't an option, especially given the weather and what the defense was doing.
Yeah, I was just waiting for it to turn into that, especially somewhere in the second half. I thought, okay, this is going to turn into an option run game, and they just didn't. They just didn't on Denver's side. So it's unfortunate, because they were in that game all the way. They were in that game. I mean, 3 points, left 3 points on the board, 2 turnovers, didn't bother using the quarterback's legs. all seem like, well, obviously the 2 turnovers is the mistake of the rookie, of the backup, just not being ready for the game. It's like
the fumble really looked like that.
Fumble was bad. Oh my God, it was bad. Well, all right. Good season for Denver, but just a stupid way to end without Nix. I mean, this would have looked so different. It really is. Quarterback.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a good question. Like with Nix in, I feel like this would be a Denver win. Like, because I think, like, if they were right there with Stidham, and I think with just a little bit better.
Just don't make mistakes.
And a little bit better Nix, like, and then this, I feel like that easily could have been a Denver win.
Well, a better chance than the 2 turnovers here. So I don't know. All right. But we won our bet.
Yeah, absolutely. Went 2 for 2 this weekend. Yep. If you're betting as Saturday versus Sunday, you're doing well.
Patriots minus 2.5. We laid the points and took the under, which was nice. That hit. Well, that was not a sweaty under.
Not that. It's the least sweaty under I think you could have had.
Right. And then as far as them moving on to the Super Bowl here, they're going to be up against it with Seattle, but at least they'll actually be able to run a real offense because they'll be here, right?
Yeah, Drake Maye is going to have to go better than 10 for 21, but it's going to be in San Francisco, right?
It's in San Francisco,
and so and hopefully the weather will be better in this one. So like the MVP candidate is going to need to have a more of an MVP type game, I think, to beat Seattle.
Yeah, but I don't think we can take anything from this game moving forward to the next game. This was its own little thing in a blizzard.
No, you're right.
None of that is really transferable. You got any other notes?
No, that's it for me.
Yeah, me too. All right. Well, thanks for checking out the video. If you're still with us, we appreciate you supporting us. And if you like the channel and you like what we have going on, a like and a subscribe would go a long way, and we'd super appreciate it. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barbin, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.